I'm here with my friend and former student, Jonathan Falcon, at Invisible Self Tattoo Parlor in Lyndhurst, New Jersey. What's the address, Jonathan?
554 Valley Brook Ave, Lyndhurst, New Jersey, 07071.
And he's going to teach us a little bit about the tattooing artist process. So, Jonathan Falcon's going to give me a little tattooing lesson.
So the way we actually make stencils most of the time is whenever someone comes with a reference of something that they want, we try to change it around to our own style a little bit, but we'll basically just take their reference picture and make what we call a stencil. And by making a stencil is we use something called transfer paper, which is basically carbon paper but made for tattoo artists. That basically once we put our image onto the carbon, we trace our design, and the design actually is transferred to the back of the paper. You can actually see this is a used one. It was already used on the client. That's why you see the ink. It's a little bit bleeded off the paper.
So it gets transferred from the carbon paper onto regular paper.
Yes.
So now there's ink on the back of the paper.
There's ink on the back of the paper, and we use some lubricant. We put the lubricant on the skin, make sure that the skin is completely clean, and we slap it on just like it's a sticker, basically.
And then when you peel it off, the lines stay?
Yeah, when we peel it off, the image is transferred onto the skin. We wait about 5 to 10 minutes for the ink to dry into the skin so that we don't lose the stencil as we are tattooing. And we can either use a reference, or we can, freestyle our own images.
Like that lettering, that's freestyle of yours?
That's freestyle lettering of mine. And, keep pictures as references. But we usually do try our best to change it around. We don't want to steal too much of other artists' work and stuff. But
I'm going to make it your own.
We make it our own, exactly.
Do you ever have somebody, you draw something on their arm and they say, can you change this? Can you fix that?
All the time.
So you get exactly what they want.
Yeah, we actually have something called stencil markers, so we can actually freestyle onto the skin.
Oh, wow. So this is how the tattoo ended up looking after one session. And this was about, what, 2.5 hours?
Just about 2.5 hours. And all I did was the lining session today. When my client comes back, we will start the shading, which will be gray wash and a little bit of red color.
And how much longer will that take?
About another 2 hours.
That's beautiful. And so would you put some of that that carbon marker on my hand?
Of course I would.
That's beautiful. So how long will the carbon marker last?
The carbon marker can last anywhere from 2 days to 2 weeks, depending on if you wash it or not. Alcohol is really the best thing to take it off.
So it'll come off with alcohol, but if I just use soap and water, it'll stay on?
It'll fade a little bit, but it'll stay on for the most part.
This is so cool. I never even heard of... So you can actually freestyle right on a person's body, draw something right out of your head, and do clients ever come in and ask for that?
Yeah, it's actually sometimes it's better that way. This way the image actually flows in the anatomy of the body correctly, because sometimes when we use a flat image and we transfer it onto the skin, it gets a little warped.
So this is actually better to just draw right out of your...
Yeah, for certain artists don't prefer to freestyle. Some artists can't even draw, they just literally could trace. So for the artist that knows how to draw, this is the perfect tool.
That's amazing. I never even heard of these before. So the first thing I noticed about this shop when I walked in is it's incredibly clean. Can you tell me a little bit about like the hygiene practices that are required of a tattoo artist just to keep people safe?
We're pretty renowned for how cleansy this shop is. We try to keep everything as completely sterile as possible. We go up and beyond what we're supposed to do to keep this shop clean. Honestly, like we use everything within our power to make sure that it's pristine.
And will you take out a brand new needle each client?
Of course.
And then it's disposed afterwards?
For needles are disposed, yes, and for everything pierced over here, we autoclave everything and then dispose of it.
That's amazing. Yeah, I noticed every surface is totally pristine, and I'm just going to show a shot of the counters and stuff, and these are all your colors.
Yeah, this is actually my station. I make sure that I keep it as pristine as possible, Now
this is called a watercolor tattoo with the daisies?
That's watercolor tattoo, and the next one is a bunch of birds that a woman just preferred on her back.
And this is something that was personal to the client?
Yeah, that was actually a tattoo for their grandfather, cassette player. And that was another personal tattoo, a memorial for that client's aunt. And that was just a fun tattoo that I actually did a few days ago. It came out pretty nice.
Now tell me about these sketches. These are just your own personal drawings?
Yeah, my own personal drawings. You know, I like to ask people in the shop, like, what you want me to draw, and I usually just do whatever they tell me.
So you take the carbon paper, you put it on the person's arm, and here it is being created. Would you mind telling me, like, why the roses and what your personal, like, reason for this particular tattoo is?
My grandmother likes roses.
Oh,
That's her name.
beautiful. So this whole tattoo is to honor Grandma?
Yeah.
Wow.
And mother.
And my mother downstairs.
That's great. So her name is,
Saida.
oh wow, Saida. It's pretty name. So cool. Question, Jonathan, like are you entirely self-taught with the tattoos?
Entirely self-taught.
That's incredible.
Completely self-taught. I started out of my house. And every single time I ever tried to enter a tattoo shop, I always got the door slammed in my face. Basically because of the environment I grew up in. And plus, you know, tattoo shops is like a family. If you don't fit in, then, you know, there's no point in just being there. But it's entirely self-taught. Everything I know is completely off of my brain.
Incredible. You're very creative. And I think a lot of tattoo artists lack that. Like, they know the technical, but they have they have to trace or whatever. They're not using their own designs.
Exactly. I use a lot of my own designs unless the customer asks for something specifically. But everything is mostly out of my own imagination.
So how did you hook up with this particular tattoo shop?
Oh, I've been going to see my boss Dom for my every piercing need since I was like a teenager.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he used to work with Mario Bart from Starlight, and he branched off and started his own thing. And he's a great person. He's done every single piercing I've ever got in my life. He's very professional, also self-taught. You can honestly say kind of world-renowned. And I heard that he was actually looking for an artist. I told him to take a look at my Instagram, and next thing you know, I'm here. Actually, so if anybody wants piercings that you know, please send them this way because it doesn't get better than dying. And it's an honor for me to be here, honestly. I never thought back in the day that I would ever be working with somebody that I admire so much.
That's incredible. I'm just watching you shade. It's so cool.
Yeah, this is kind of like a form of whip shading, only with a liner nail. Not too many artists really do that because it's tedious, but like I said, I'm self-taught, so it's kind of like my specialty.
So now let me ask you a question. When you do a sleeve now, like how much does this shop charge for like a sleeve?
Oh no, for the we don't give flat rates most of the time. When it comes to sleeves, usually we work off an hourly rate.
Oh, okay.
Which is $160 an hour.
Wow.
Actually, tattoo shops out there, they go anywhere from $2 to $250 an hour. You know what I mean? So we're pretty reasonable with our prices. You know what I mean?
How many hours does something like this particular tattoo here?
It all depends on how much detail. Something like this, if I was to do everything in one day, it could be about anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. Since we're breaking it down into sessions, he's gonna get about 3 hours each. He's only been here for about an hour and a half already.
Oh my God, it's beautiful. About an hour and a half. So did he do the other tattoo on your neck of the dove? Oh, that's beautiful. So let me ask you, did that one hurt?
Yeah.
The neck, because that's got to be real sensitive.
Yes,
That's
it
beautiful.
did.
Oh my gosh, can you pull down your collar?
But he took it like a grown man.
Oh, that's so gorgeous. Wow. Is that a dove?
Yeah.
And is that symbolic to you for some, like?
Yeah, from my aunt that passed away.
Oh wow. It's like her soul flying to heaven. Beautiful. So how much is left on this?
Well, this is just the first session. The second session, we're gonna go in and we're gonna add more gray wash shading and some red color, and that'll probably be like another 2.5 hours right there, and then the tattoo will be basically complete.
Beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh wow. Where does your grandmother live?
PA, Pennsylvania.
So when will she see this?
Probably this weekend coming up.
Oh my God, is it a surprise?
Yeah, I haven't told her.
Oh, it's beautiful. I'm sure she'll be totally honored. It's gorgeous.